And I was, I had played north more on the coast, like up around Red Bank and Seabright, where there was the beach clubs, and there was more jobs there for us, which was tough to break in there because if you were from Freehold was like, I don't know what they thought.
Farmers,
people were. Yeah, you know, it was like that, you know, and Asbury, that was funny. Asbury is the only beach greaser town that, like, you know, it was not like a collegiate kind of beach town at all. It was like Newark by the sea, you know.
Class people, right?
You know, and
Newark by the sea. That's great.
That's what, you know. That sort of was what it was like, and I went up to this club and I was starting to play the first night, and this guy pulls a chair out, sits it right in the middle of the dance floor, sits down on it, and started giving me what I perceived as dirty looks, you know. And it was Gary, you know, and I didn't talk to him for quite a while after that. I assumed for one reason or another we weren't going to get along. And eventually, you know, we got together not for quite a while later. Gary didn't start playing with me till around 1971 maybe, or 70, somewhere in there. And because Miami Steve played bass before then. You know, he played bass I was with a 4-piece band. It was me, Danny, Mad Dog, and when this fellow Little Vinny left, Steve played bass guitar.
Wait a minute now. I thought you got together with Miami Steve around 75. I thought when you did The Bottom Line, you introduced him as a new member of the band.
The thing is, all these people have gone in and out.
All right.
You know, it's like what happened was
door.
We had a band, like Steve was like, he was in my band, but there was a ways before the record where like I had no band. You know, I just was at home writing songs. You know, we toured down south and stuff. And so at the time of the Greetings from Asbury Park, there was no formal band.
Is Miami Steve on Greetings from Asbury Park?
He is. I can't tell. I shouldn't tell you where.
Why not?
He might be mad at me. It's funny.
You know where, though. You know.
It's funny. But like, see, we had a band. Steve was a bass player. We split up, and Steve played with the Dovells and the Belmonts. I mean Dion. It wasn't the Belmonts at the time, you know. And he worked construction for a couple of years, you know. And but he actually didn't get in, I guess, the E Street Band until after the Born to Run album.
It was completed, right? How about Roy? Now, when did you get together with Roy?
Roy
Benton, whose piano is, God, I mean, the way he's playing piano on this tour, and the sound of that piano and that thing is really beautiful. You know, it's gorgeous.
I put an ad in the Village Voice for a drummer and a piano player, and I auditioned 60 guys, 30 drummers and 30 piano players, up at Studio Instrument Rentals in New York, and that's where I got Roy and Max. That's where I found Roy and Max.
Max said he showed up with one little snare drum and he said, Max just told me this afternoon. He said the guys came before him and they had big drum kits, and he said, gee, he was playing in the Broadway in the pit of Godspell. And he said he came up, he had like 2 or 3 little drums with him, and other guys were showing up with these big drum kits, and you worked him out on his little drums there, and then you said to him, this is what he told me just at the pool this afternoon. He said, and I never thought I'd get the job, but finally Bruce said, listen, if you want the job, you can have it to pay $75 a week.
Oh, God.
And he said, I'll take it.
It's like, that's true. You know, what happened is at the time, that's what we were all making.
Right.
And this was when was this? This was right before Born to Run. You know, at the time we were
just a struggling band.
$75 a week, and he came up. He just had a good. he had the right feel, you know, and there's a lot of, you know, guys come with the bigger drum sets, and I knew, you know.
And how about CC?
Oh, Clarence?
How about Clarence? Where'd you find the big man?
I was playing in Asbury Park in another club called the Student Prince, and it was me and Steven and Gary and Davey Sanchez and Vinny Lopez. And one night, this guy walked in, and I'd heard about him, I'd heard about him in the area, because I'd been looking for a saxophone player for a long time, and everybody was always talking about Clarence Clemens. And he walked in, and he said, "Can I sit in, you know?" And we said, "Sure," you know, nobody was gonna say no. And he got up, and we played this one song, and I said, "This is the guy who, I've been looking for you all my life. You know, this is the guy who I've been looking for all my life, you know." And ever since then, you know, we stuck together, you know.
And that's the E Street Band.
Yeah, that's everybody, you know.